So today I'm going to be working on a pair of A-pillar trims for a T6 transporter. I've done these before, but this one's a little bit different because it has this pod here that has been made by the owner, iTex, a little speaker. So the job's going to be a little bit trickier than normal. Normally it would just be one piece of fabric, I could just cover this and it wouldn't be an issue. I do have videos out on doing that, so I'll leave a link in the description to those. I've also done the two front seats and the rear three-seater bench on the vehicle in black leather, and I'll put a link in the description to that video as well. It's going to be a little bit trickier than normal. As it's handmade, I'm sure both sides are not identical, so I'll have to make patterns for this one and for the opposite side as well. So that's the first job, is to put the patterning plastic on and see how I'm going to make it. I don't actually know where I'm going to put seams yet. The patterning plastic will tell me where to put seams, where the best place is. But yeah, you just got to suck it and see, because I've not done one of these before because it's handmade, it's a one-off. And I've got a basic idea of a couple of ways that I can do it. I can either make a piece just for this pod bit and stitch it into the main body of the cover, or I can potentially do it in two halves. So I'll have a seam running up this part here that continues all the way down here, but I'm not sure if that's going to work. So best thing I can do is just get the patterning plastic out and place it on and see where that tells me I need to put seams, whether I can do it the way I want to do it or not. So this stuff is called Firetex Clear. I'll leave a link in the description to where I get this from. You can check it out if you need some. Alright, so I don't think I can do this in like two halves with a seam up the centre here. I probably will have to put a seam somewhere. So I think I would like a seam here. So that, I think, is how I'm going to make it. So I'm going to make the main body in one piece and then stitch in this part here with a seam there. Now, don't even know if this will work, but I'll pattern this bit first here. So that's going to be the trickiest bit. I will put some match marks in. So I'm just going to use a bit of glue to hold the pattern down. I can remove the glue later. Now the neater I can get this patterning plastic on here, the better. So that part hasn't gone on too bad. Trim off this bit here. So this is just a case of moving it around, putting cuts where I need to put cuts. Oops, shouldn't have trimmed all that off there. So that was a bad mistake, that. Trimming off all this piece here, that I've trimmed off from here, means I don't have enough there, but I can get around that. So I'm short this little piece here, so all I'm going to do is just going to attach a little piece. A little bit of double-sided seaming tape in there. And then just a little bit of masking tape, just for extra protection. I don't want it to fall off. And there we have it, it's on, and it's on quite nicely. Quite happy with that. So I need to now transfer this line that's around here and all the match marks. I'll do the match marks first. So if you notice here, I've got two match marks that are very close together. They're my start point, so I'll always know where everything lines up from these two here. So if you ever pattern anything like this and you need a start point, just put two match marks close together, and then obviously that'll be on this piece here and then on the other piece as well. I'm just going to dash the line in. Put in the seam line. Get rid of a lot of this here, which I don't need now. Obviously do the top part. Now when I cut this out, I'm going to actually need a bit more fabric here. Now whether I choose to actually stitch this together with this piece, I don't know yet. I probably won't. I'll probably make this piece up, put a fold on it, top stitch it, and then glue it down over the top of this piece here, just because I think trying to glue all this in while it's sewn to this piece here will be an absolute nightmare. It'll be virtually impossible to do, so I'll have to do it in two pieces effectively, and I probably won't sew this up as a seam. I'll do the same thing. I'll make it like a kind of false seam, so I'll put a fold on one of these pieces, probably this piece here, and this piece here, and then it'll just be easier to do it that way rather than trying to sew it all together. But we shall see. This is something you've got to think about when you're making things like this, is how you're going to actually fit it, whether what you're doing is actually possible. I've got to be very careful now taking this off. I don't want to rip it. And that is the piece. So I just need to join all the dots. So I'm going to cut this out now and then offer it back up to the piece. And there we go. I think I may have to make this part in 2 halves. I may have to put a seam along here and then here. Well, that's the way I'm going to have to do that. Here, here, and here. What I'm doing now, I'm just making sure the match marks all line up. They're fine. Fine there. So that's my 3 pattern pieces now. So that's the 3 pattern pieces now cut out. I'm not going to pattern the other one yet. I'm going to actually make this one up. I don't want to pattern them both, cut them both out and then realise that what I've done isn't going to work. So it's always better to do on things like this where it's just a one-off, is to do one at a time, just to make sure everything is correct. I don't want to waste my time. And obviously the fabric, this is actually being covered in Alcantara, which isn't cheap. I think the meter that I bought for this job cost just over £100. Like I say, it's not cheap and I don't want to waste that. And obviously if I don't get this right first time, then I'm going to end up having to order some more, because I've only ordered 1 meter for this. But hopefully I should have enough to do 3 of them, I would estimate. At least I may 4, but if I get this wrong and I've got to adjust everything and the way I'm making it, then at least I've got enough fabric to actually throw one away and then still have enough for the other 2. I'll tidy the bench up, I'll get the Alcantara out and I'll cut these pieces out. Once I've done that, I'll sew them together. So just these 2 big pieces, that isn't going to get sewn together. It's going to have a hem put on it and top stitched, and this is just going to be seamed together and then top stitched as well along this seam here. And then once I've done that, I will get rid of all the glue on this. I'll give it a prep so it needs a sand down, whack with acetone, get rid of this pen, because one thing I don't want to do is for the pen to bleed through the fabric. So I'll get rid of the pen, but I'll replace it with pencil, so I know where this little, especially this line is here, so I know where this line is, because I'm going to have to follow this line down and get this seam as straight as I can, because that seam goes like that and you kind of loop down it, so I want to get that as straight as I can, put it on. So I need a line to follow, at least this point here and this point here, and then I can stretch it in and eyeball it in. It's just got a slight curve on it, so it isn't actually a straight line. So I don't want the curve to wander, I want it to be a gentle curve, all going in the same direction. I don't want it to kick back in at any point. So yeah, so I'll have a quick tidy up. I'll probably do the prep on this first actually, and then get the fabric out once I've made a mess. So I've now got the main piece on. I'm not going to finish off the ends yet. I'll leave that till later. I've put the pattern for this part back on because I need to know where the edge of the pattern is. So I'm going to draw around that pattern. I'm going to trim off anything that I need to trim off that is from the main part that I've just put on. So I did cut it a bit oversized. Once I've marked it, I'll trim it off. I'll hem the piece that goes in here. I'll check it against the line that I've drawn on, make sure it's all alright. I'll glue it up. So I'll apply glue to the Alcantara piece, and then I'll just hand glue the edge. I'll turn all the edges of this, tuck it underneath, do any trimming that I need to do, fit the speaker, and then put that back in the vehicle and get on with the other one and hope they're not too dissimilar. They may be very similar, but we'll see. So first job is to draw around that. I'm just going to finely draw around with a pencil